right. Welcome, everyone. My name is Sasha-Thackaberry-Voinovich, and I am here with a former colleague of mine. Would you like to introduce yourself? I would love for you to sort of just start with a little bit about who you are and your expertise in this area.
Perfect. Thank you, Sasha. So excited to be here. You're right, former colleague. My name is Mudit Garg. I'm the Senior Vice President of Go-to-Market AI Partnerships here at Yellow.ai. My entire career has been devoted to being a go-to-market operator, helping companies build businesses across sales, marketing, customer experience. Have had a lot of experience from both small to large companies. But today, I'm most excited about the changes in the world around AI and would love to chat about it. I do have two little daughters, so if they kind of, run into the room, don't be surprised, folks, but I try to keep them away. No more trouble.
Yeah, no, we are family friendly. That is fantastic. Mine are eating downstairs, so hopefully they won't come in. So a couple of years ago, you and I worked together, and we were sort of talking about AI a little bit more broadly, right? But the world has really changed since then, and things have gotten super specific about AI and the advancements in AI and what AI can do. So why don't you just tell us a little bit about like how your world has changed in the go-to-market space in the past couple of years because of AI?
It's such a great question. AI has come in and has challenged every aspect of what we consider good or even best. When I think of go-to-market, think of it as marketing, sales, and customer experience. But what has changed with AI? Oh my goodness. The first and the lowest hanging fruit always is automation. Can you automate repetitive tasks? That's no brainer. But the quality of the tasks has been expanded with the proliferation of LLMs. Think about lead scoring. Think about AI SDRs, emails going straight to a very personalized emails going to your prospects and customer. Think of follow-ups. Remember we used to take meeting notes long time ago, probably 6 months back? Have you ever seen anyone take meeting notes anymore? Absolutely not. The world has changed so much around marketing and sales, where the basic lowest hanging fruits are being automated with intelligence and with very little effort. The second big change that I see is, I call it, scale personalization. Reaching out to folks in a very, very intelligent way that used to take hours of research earlier. Hey, not anymore. You want to launch a new solution? How do you tailor your messaging for someone, to your ICP, to your personas? It has become so easy now, and that impacts your productivity, your efficiency, your conversion rates of the funnel, as we call it. And that's the beauty of it. But then the last piece, which is, I think, the tip of the iceberg, as I call it, that's the conversational AI piece of it. The so-called chatbots of the past have become AI agents of today. And these AI agents across chat, voice, SMS, social, they are becoming so intelligent that you can just have a human-like interaction with them. You go to somebody's website, you're talking to an AI agent. You call 800 number, you're talking to an AI agent. You want to ask for help, you're talking to an AI agent. You want to access knowledge, you're talking to an AI agent. I think combined together, these technologies and forces, as I call them, are really disrupting this go-to-market space like never before. And I feel that, will AI eat our lunch? I don't think so, as long as we learn how to use AI as professionals, as educators, as students in our day-to-day lives. As long as we can do that, the world of go-to-market will be our friend versus an enemy.
100%. Yes. And I think that's so germane. Is we were having another conversation a couple of weeks ago, and some of the advice that the guest was giving was, you cannot be fearful. You have to jump in and learn it. You have to do it. You have to try it, because you either work with it or it works upon you. Right? Like those are sort of your options. So why not, for folks who are maybe less well-versed in AI lingo, when we're talking about AI agents, in this context, it's sort of like two things. Like an AI agent is something that, right, that can go do a job for you. You can tell it to do a job. But also in this case, it's like an AI customer service agent, right? So what are some of the possibilities that are happening now, or what are some of the interactions that we might already be having with non-human bots that we don't even know about?
It's so great, right? So let me decipher this AI agent word a little bit more for the listeners. So first, think of the AI agent. The most basic piece of that is self-service. You ask a question, you get an answer. What's the time of the day? How's the weather in Cupertino? Who won the match? Could you write an email for me? Great. Now, the next piece, which we call as the agentic AI piece of this arm, is taking actions, which means these agents can pay your bill, they can process a transaction, they can order new shoes for you, they can cancel your order, they can put in a Netflix subscription as an example. That is the true action part of these agents. They can read and write into CRM, into HubSpot, into Salesforce, ServiceNow, you name it. And the third piece of this is if these agents can become autonomous, which means they can keep learning on their own and they get smarter and smarter and smarter every day. And that would be the nirvana of AI agent space. So every terminology that folks hear about chatbot AI agent, it's all predicated on self-service Q&A, take actions on my behalf, complex actions in enterprise ecosystem. And the last is self-learn, become autonomous so that life becomes really, really cool and you can have the snowball effect. Now, today, if you look at it, most of the chat conversations already have an AI agent. Historically, AI agents were more NLP based, which is more intent based training, as we call it. Think of it as an if-else diagram. Not anymore. Today's agents have a goal and they can cater to the goal. As an example, my goal is to book or take new bookings for a travel agency. I can do that. That's all the training I need for some guardrails. But tomorrow, the voice agents, when you call in a number for a large telecom, for help desks, 24/7 service will be available to you because the person across the phone is actually an AI agent who doesn't need to sleep. They can work 24/7 for a change. And if they fail, they will always pass the call back to a human agent. And that's the beauty of this ecosystem is efficiency can be brought in at the top end, or the efficiency can be brought in at the end where a human agent like me would pick up the phone from a customer and I have AI running on side of me helping me answer the question. So the AI can help in both ways. It can assist me do my job better, or it can come at the front end to automate. And that is the beauty of where the world is going to go in from here on.
Yes. Yes, so true. And it's interesting to think about all of the business problems that has little touch points with, right? So you have touch points with training quality, right? You would need to hire customer service agents, train them. There tends to be a lot of turnover in those positions. Quality control can be challenging. And so maybe those people are still hired, but they're hired to manage bots, or it's a higher level position to be able to really figure out, interpret the data, figure out what needs to happen more or less. You were talking about some of the personalization earlier, like some of the things in sort of the sales cycle that can happen through AI doing sort of like research and getting it out there. Can you share with us just like one example, something simple maybe that again, we may be experiencing from the customer side that we don't even know is a designed AI agent interaction?
Absolutely. There's so many great examples of how the personalization works at scale. One example I'll give you is, let's say if you are a classical SDR or BDR function, you're a business development function in a company, you're probably fresh out of the college, 1 or 2 years of experience, you get hired to make cold calls. Well, that's hard. You are hired to reach out to a lot of prospects at scale. That's really, really hard because now you're either sending them mundane messages or you're spending an hour on their LinkedIn profile and the social post and trying to figure out what should I write that is interesting. Now AI can actually do this work for you. So many tools are available in the market where you can just put in your lead list or a contact list, And the AI will go and research based on your product offering and differentiation. They will say or figure out what did the user do on internet, what are we do the work, what's their title, what have they been recent post, what has the company been up to, and they can actually write a very very personalized message for you and actually send it out. The beauty of the systems are they're becoming so automated and you can customize your workflows accordingly. So that would be a classic example of how when you and I get an email outreach from someone who's trying to position or market something, that email can be very very intelligent. That phone call can have a lot more context about you. So that's one example that you could see where AI personalization can add value. Now, if you take it further down the supply chain, where I am as a sales rep, I'm getting onto the meetings with my prospects. I only know one of them. There are five more on the call. And how should I tailor my message? I don't have to spend time researching about those five people. I can just take their emails, punch it in the LLM, and I can actually get a lot of information about each one of them. Who are they? What are they up to? Do I have any common connections with them? You can get so much intelligence very, very quickly. And then you can use that to personalize your message, this example. So you could play either ways, but the productivity it is adding, if you're shaving like 20, 30 minutes of preparation time per meeting, you're probably going to save a couple of hours a day. And that really, really begins to add up over a week, over a month. So the productivity boost is pretty amazing. And the personalization that you can do, that trust me, used to take hours and hours when probably Sasha and I were doing this job. This is such
Yeah, it's insane. And it's interesting because when you're creating that, when you're creating whatever sort of workflow or experience, rather, like what kind of experience do you want a prospective customer to have? Like you can dial certain things up or down, right? It doesn't have to go straight to creepy.
It's so true. If you up level that, Sasha, you think of the customer touch points across your journey, and now you can start being very intelligent about the customer touch points. You can understand what kind of conversion you're following, and then you can start automating at the touch point itself, because intelligence, if I can say, is becoming a bit of a commodity. As long as you have a good data layer behind you, you can actually get all the intelligence. That is why we say these days, right? Jack and Jill of all trades. That's the
Mm-hmm.
future. Generalist, and what we say in the AI space as forward deployed engineer, FDEs, they are becoming the two most common terms. And I feel there is a method to the madness, and that is going to be the upskilling and reskilling of actually all of us to play and be more data literate as we go forward.
Oh my gosh, I cannot tell you how many conversations I have had recently about the importance of data literacy and interpretation in this new world, because you have more data, but again, it's only as good as you are at working with AI to interpret it, right? So it's not no human, like humans need not apply. It's really your job has transformed. I mean, what I do in a day in and day out basis, fundamentally different than 2 years than a year ago. Like how you work is so different. But there's definitely a spectrum of where people are on their usage of AI, right? I mean, the world we live in is much more enthusiastic and pro AI, but there are also a lot of people who dabble and who maybe don't understand, like don't even know they're using it when they're using it, right?
That's so true. And the AI adoption is at different levels across different generations, to different
Yeah.
industries. And I think it will all catch up soon. Right now, there is goodness, but there's also a lot of noise. There are so many, software vendors who are trying to, bring AI toys, as I call them, into the market. The market will take its own turn. The market will calm down. There will be certain winners. There will be certain losers. But I think the pace of change will only accelerate. We have to be
100%.
open to new technologies. We have to be flexible and adaptable, because the challenge in the AI space is going to be, today we are trying to optimize our current way of working. Think about the new way of working, which is
Yes.
AI led from scratch.
Yes.
And I think that is going to be the massive disruption or the inflection point in the market, where today we are coded, we have been trained to work in a specific way, to sell in a specific way, to market in a specific way, and actually to teach in a specific way. And we are optimizing and bolting AI on top of it. But tomorrow we start rethinking our actual processes from scratch and make it
Yep.
AI-led. That feature would be, very, very eye-opening.
Yes, yes. One almost thinks of I don't know if you ever saw the movie Minority Report with Tom Hanks, where they like can predict crime before it happens. Very dystopian option, obviously, that in Skynet, right? But yes, I am pro responsible usage of AI, as I know you are as well. And thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it. Our listeners are going to enjoy this so much.
Perfect. Totally a pleasure of mine. Thank you for having me here.